there was something there. We knew there was a lesion. Our understanding of this was that we just watched it and everything was going to be fine. And he looked at both of us and said, I don't think you understand. I don't think you understand your child has brain cancer. Jordan kind of ripped off the Band-Aid and really made us sit back and go, okay, maybe this is life-altering. Maybe this is actually something that's going to change what our lives look like. So we have 3 gorgeous poppets. So Lucas is 12, Emily is 10 and Hannah is 8. And they're a very close-knit group. Emily is quite vibrant. She's a beautiful soul. She's always really positive.
In some ways, it's sort of she's the right person to be in the situation. She has that sort of old soul where she's able to take what's going on in her life with her medical complications and run with it.
There was kind of these points in her development where we went, oh, that's kind of odd. We kind of said to her paediatrician, look, there's something not quite right. There was kind of this list of neurological symptoms that had progressively added up, and at that point in time they decided it was time to see a neurologist. I think at that point in time we'd kind of gone, oh, maybe we're just misreading the situation and that things aren't kind of as bad as we thought they were. And maybe it was just hopeful, wishful thinking on my behalf. We went off to the neurologist's office and essentially she sat down and said, look, there is a lesion. We don't know what it is. The good news is that we can sit on this for a bit.
A scan was done that showed this lesion inside her brain. And in fact, it's the most difficult part of the brain, which is called the brain stem. That's the part of the brain that controls almost everything that one does. Looking at scans, you can't tell what this thing is. Until we can get cells, until we can get samples, we're just in the dark. It's so risky. It's just the most dangerous part of the entire neurosurgeon's life. It's the bane of our lives because it's of its location, but we have to do something about it.
So we met with Jordan in the November, and then she had what's called a PET scan in the December, and then we met with oncology and they were like, yep, we're going to book her to get started, and that's when we linked in with Dong An.
Unfortunately for Emily, her tumour is in the brainstem, and so her tumour cannot be removed by surgery, and this is quite rare. It's like less than 10% of the low-grade gliomas.
She had 52 weeks where she received the chemotherapy every Wednesday, and her body really struggled to cope.
Now, what I needed to do was to get a biopsy to know what our enemy is. And the pathologist will say, hey, this is tumour XYZ. And tumour XYZ has specific pathways of treatment.
Up until this point, they had said any form of surgery was too risky. Patrick had to sit there and tell us there's a risk that she'll have a stroke on the table. There's a risk that she will wake and not be the same child. There's a risk that she'll wake and only have movement on one side of her body. There is a risk that she won't wake at all.
And this time I was able to take a lot more out and really affect some change.
Essentially, we're trying to starve her tumour of its food source.
So this new treatment is much easier. So it's the targeted therapy with much less risk of infection. Overall, it's much, much easier on her.
Focus now is to try and get her as comfortable as possible to do her work. And she's back at school, which is fantastic.
One of the things as a parent of any child that has any condition is that feeling of loss of control and hopelessness. And I think sometimes that loss of control is the hardest thing to cope with. The fact that they can bring the best minds of Australia together to be able to make a plan, that as a parent, that's reassuring. As a parent, you go, thank you for caring for my child enough to be able to do this.
You can't win any competition if you're just one person. Yeah, it's truly a team approach.
Emily, she's the star player of the team. Like, it's a big team all around her, and she has the best support from her parents, her family, and all of us.
We just want her to live the best life she can, and for her to be able to meet her dreams and aspirations. And we want her to grow up to be the healthiest adult she can be.